Right, I'm always seeing in YouTube comments people talk about where's better, Hua Hin or Pattaya. I've lived in Hua Hin for like 6 months of every year for I think 12 years or something. Right now I'm in Pattaya, so I'm just going to compare the two, just look at pros and cons, Hua Hin versus Pattaya. Right, I've made a list, so the first thing I'm going to say is the location. You might look at a map if you've not been here before or not been many times, you might think, well, they're both the same, you know, they're both just on the other side of the water. Hua Hin is basically over there. You know, neither are too far from Bangkok, but I would say Pattaya is quite a lot better of a location. Because number one, obviously it's a bit closer to Bangkok, it's on the side of Suvarnabhumi Airport. So if you were going to be flying in, let's say if you were going to be an expat or a retiree and you were going to be leaving the country, coming back a lot, Pattaya is a lot easier to get to. It's about an hour and a half as opposed to like 3 hours to get, or 3.5, sometimes 4 hours to get to Hua Hin. So Pattaya is definitely better for that. I'd also say on the location front, there's a lot more places to go just near to Pattaya. So from Pattaya, you can, you know, it's not that far to get to like Koh Chang, the islands in the southeast. You've also got days out like Koh Lon, Koh Si Chang, and quite a few places north and south of Pattaya. Hua Hin, it's kind of, obviously it's a decent place on its own, but you have to go quite far to get anywhere that you might really want to go to. Like the islands in the south, it's still a really long way. You're almost better off going to Bangkok and then flying. So yeah, location, I would say definitely Pattaya wins that one. On that sort of note as well, I would say the climate is the next thing. Believe it or not, there is quite a big difference in the climate between Pattaya and Hua Hin. Basically, the Hua Hin, it doesn't rain as much. It's a lot drier. The seasons are more sort of defined. Like in the rainy season, it'll rain the same as anywhere, but the dry season really is dry. You can see it if you just look around in Hua Hin, everything's a lot drier. So yeah, location, I would say Pattaya definitely. Climate, it's a bit better in Hua Hin, but to be honest with you, it's still really good here, so there's not too much in that one. Okay, the next point is I'm going to look at the beaches and the bitches. I'm going to put that on the thumbnail because everyone always says the beaches are not very good in Pattaya, but the bitches are, and the other way around in Hua Hin. I would flip that on its head in some ways, in that in Pattaya, the beaches, yeah, Pattaya beach isn't great, Hua Hin beach is quite nice, but then if you go just outside of Pattaya, there are nice beaches like right here, Jomtien Beach, whereas in Hua Hin, you kind of have to go quite far to get to a really nice beach. I think the nearest properly nice beach, I would say, is Khao Kalok Beach, which is like 40 minutes south. Whereas on the other hand, the bitches, everyone would say come to Pattaya for girls, and thousands of people do just that. And honestly, I think it's kind of a bad idea. It depends what you're looking for. I mean, if you literally wanted a one night stand with a girl, you know, all the hookers, then yeah, it's brilliant because there's millions of hookers here. But so many guys come here looking for a relationship, and then they end up in a relationship with like a bar girl or, you know, a freelancer or something, and then they wonder why they get fleeced. You know, they buy them a house or something and then wonder why it's all gone wrong. And I mean, there's entire YouTube channels talking about relationships with Thai girls, and virtually every single one of the horror stories, one way or another, the girl was a hooker, and a lot of them come from Pattaya. So yeah, I would say if you wanted to avoid that kind of thing, then definitely anywhere else in Thailand is going to be better for relationships or for girls if you're a single foreign guy. So you're not going to find many girls here that are into single foreign guys that aren't hookers one way or another, and there's a million examples of that out there on the internet, so you can research that one. But so many people come here because it's so easy for that kind of thing. But yeah, you use your brain on that, don't leave your brain at the airport. But yeah, beaches and bitches, I would flip it on its head a bit. I would say here is actually very good for beaches. Hua Hin is okay. Bitches, yeah, I don't know. It depends what you're into. It depends what you're into. But yeah, it's a pro and a con on both. I don't know. It's hard to say on that one. But yeah, make up your own mind. Right, the second one I'll look at then, cost of living. I would say cost of living, there's not a whole lot in it. If you wanted to, you could spend a lot more in Pattaya. There's a lot more of these sort of high-end places. And I suppose there's just more of everything in Pattaya than there is in Hua Hin. So you've got more of your cheap places, more of your high-end places. But if you're looking at value for money, especially like accommodation, transport, food, things like that, you get about the same for your money. You're just going to find more of, you know, every different point in your budget here in Pattaya than you would do in Hua Hin. So yeah, cost of living, I would say it's neither a pro nor a con for either. It's up to you what you're going to spend. You could live as cheaply as, let's say, I don't know, £700, like $1,000 a month, or you could spend 10 times that easily. So yeah, I'd say neither. You know, you're not going to get a real benefit from one or the other on the cost of living front. Right, the next one we look at is transport, public transport, I would say public transport is decent in both. And if you're from a Western country where, you know, a successful public transport experience is not getting stabbed, you probably think the public transport in either of them is really good. You've got your Songtail or the BART buses that people call them, like the pickup trucks that go around. Really good Songtail routes in Pattaya. Hua Hin's not too bad as well. You can go right from the airport, which is in the north, right the way down to Pattaya, and it just sort of runs along Petchaksim Road, along the main road. In Pattaya, there's a lot more routes going to different places, but to be honest with you, it's good in either. And also public transport wise, buses, you can get buses from Hua Hin or Pattaya. You can go all over. They've both got trains as well, train stations, so you're well connected to get elsewhere in the country. Pattaya, obviously it's closer to Savannahbum, so you can go internationally a lot easier, but yeah, both of them are good, so I won't give that one to one or the other. The next thing I'll talk about though, road safety. I would say road safety is a plus for Hua Hin. Obviously in Thailand road safety is terrible everywhere, but Pattaya, it's like everyone's, the way I would describe it is, in the rest of the country everyone drives like they're drunk. Here everyone drives like they're on meth or something. It's just crazy the way people drive. So neither of them's really, I'm not going to say it's a pro for either, but it is less bad in Hua Hin on the roads than it is here. Right, my next point, which is a pro for Pattaya, I'm going to say English speakers. Again, in the same theme as the last one. You know, everywhere's pretty bad in Thailand for English speakers. But yeah, Pattaya is a bit less bad. You can get by speaking English. You get a lot of people where English is their second language. So maybe if your English isn't that great, you would be more comfortable in Pattaya without learning Thai. Hua Hin, it's a little bit, you know, English isn't great. It's always good if you can speak a bit of Thai. But you know, that's the same everywhere in Thailand. The English is never fantastic, but here it's a bit less bad. Right, it's an obvious plus for Pattaya. I don't know if this one's good if you're going to be living here, but definitely for holidays. That's obviously nightlife. Nightlife in Pattaya, it's unrivaled anywhere. I mean, everything's 24 hours, you know, everything's open all the time. If you're in your bars, your nightclubs, you know, just any kind of drinking kind of thing, you know, there's just stuff everywhere, especially around central Pattaya, Walking Street. But even if you get out of Pattaya, there's just absolutely loads of stuff going on at night. It's just a real sort of nocturnal place to be. Whereas I would say Hua Hin, there is some nightlife, but that's not, you know, it's not what the place is sort of built around. So there are bars, there are a couple of clubs and things that are open late, but not that much. It's kind of one area, well, there's a couple of areas, but mainly one area where you've got sort of bars and nightclubs, and that's not what Hua Hin is kind of built around. Whereas Pattaya, if that's your focus, if that's what you like doing with your time, then yeah, obviously Pattaya would win massively. And that's why I would say actually for holidays, I think Pattaya beats Hua Hin hands down in pretty much all areas. But if you're going to live somewhere, then yeah, it's a bit more of, yeah, it's a bit more even. Right, this next one I'm going to say is a pro for Pattaya, and that's accommodation. Now both places, Hua Hin or Pattaya, are very good for accommodation. You've got a lot of Western standard places to live, condos, housing developments and things, and they're very good in both. But the only reason I would say it's a pro for Pattaya versus Hua Hin is just that there's so much more. I mean, if you look behind me here, I'm in Jomtien. There's, I mean, all the way down the beach, you've got really nice sort of condo developments, you know, housing developments and things just not far inland. So yeah, I would say it has to be a pro for Pattaya just because there's so much more. Value for money wise, you probably get a little bit more for your money maybe in Hua Hin, but there's really not much in it. I'd say it's probably about the same. But yeah, there's just so much more in Pattaya, so I'd have to say accommodation is a pro for Pattaya. And then the last point that I'll say then, this one's a plus for Hua Hin, and that's if you play golf. If you play golf, there are, I think in Pattaya, there's like 20 something golf courses. In Hua Hin, there's about 8 sort of in the immediate area. So there's a lot more in Pattaya, but in Pattaya, they're all about like 40 minutes away. You have to drive like 40 minutes, like nearly an hour to get to the golf courses. Whereas in Hua Hin, they're all quite close by. You've even got Royal Hua Hin Golf Club, which is right in the middle of the town. So yes, golf, I would say it's sort of better in Hua Hin, especially if you were coming for a holiday, if you didn't have that much time to be going out to the golf courses. Yeah, so I mean, you can't say Pattaya is bad for golf because there are a lot of golf courses. It's just getting to them. And obviously the traffic, that's another downside for Pattaya. You're gonna have to deal with the traffic getting to them. So yeah, that one's a bit of a negative, but not, again, it's not bad in either really. I mean, they're both very good places for golf. is a little bonus pro for Pattaya as well, and that is the beach roads. This is in Jomtien. Pattaya beach is the same, so you've got a road running, I don't know if I can show you behind me, the road running directly along the beach and then just straight onto the beach. You've got really nice sort of paths. If you like running, it's brilliant, and it just makes it feel more of a seaside place. In Hua Hin, you've not got that, or the beach is kind of lined with hotels, and then you've got the main road. So sometimes it doesn't feel like a seaside kind of town. It's definitely a pro for Pattaya in my book. Yes, that's a few pros and cons of Pattaya and Hua Hin. For me, I've been here for so long, I kind of take everything for granted. So if there's anything you want to know, leave a comment. I'll make another video and just talk about Pattaya or Hua Hin. I'm going to be here for another few weeks, and then I go over to Hua Hin for like 4 or 5 months. So yeah, leave a comment and I'll make some more videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.